There's absolutely no doubt that Bluey is one of the funniest and most entertaining cartoons in the world. But did you know this series is also packed with mystery and suspense that keeps everyone super curious?
Are we there yet?
The best way to enjoy the adventures of the little blue pup is by paying close attention to the details. You've probably watched the episode Double Babysitter when Uncle Radley meets Frisky on the night they're babysitting the Heeler pups. One detail that most fans might miss is the rugby ball on the roof of the house during the scene where everyone is saying goodbye to Bandit and Chili. A mystery that leaves us scratching our heads is figuring out how the ball ended up there, and there are a few theories. If you look closely, you'll notice that it's not Bandit's ball. His ball is white with green and yellow stripes, whereas this one is a more standard orange rugby ball. One theory is that Rusty, even though he's a cricket player, might have thrown the ball up there since he's so into sports. There's also another possibility. Maybe Bandit lost his first ball, bought a new one, and ended up losing that one too because he kept throwing it at the roof. Doubt it? Well, a few episodes earlier, in Mum School, when Bluey and Chili are chatting on the porch, we can actually see where Mr. Heeler's ball ended up. He threw it onto Lucky's family roof. See that? Maybe that solves the mystery. Bandit just throws too many balls. Want to uncover more secrets? Grab your popcorn and get ready, because another episode of Cinewave is starting now. How exactly did Chili's mom pass away? This mystery is a bit sad, and honestly, it's hard not to get emotional talking about it. But since Bluey is such a special series, we've got to address it. Let's call Chili's mom Marta, just to give her a name while we talk about her. It's pretty clear that Marta passed away when Chili was just a pup because, in the flashbacks during the episode Dragon, Chili's memories of her mom are from when she was very young. The word dragon might be a subtle clue that Chili and Brandy's mom suffered from a severe illness, possibly a form of cancer that was too much for her to overcome. Since this is just a theory, we can imagine Marta became very ill and wasn't able to fight off the disease. This could explain why Chili is so concerned about her dad when it's his turn to take care of himself. It's also worth noting that Chili may have had a lonely childhood because her father, Grandpa Mort, was in the military. So in a way, young Chili had to grow up on her own. This makes it all the more understandable why she doesn't have clear memories of the first time she met Bandit. One mystery that Bluey fans everywhere wonder about is, what would Bluey Heeler's older brother's name have been? It's more than evident that Chili sadly wasn't able to have her first baby, which brought a lot of heartache to our favorite parents, Chili and Bandit. This is why Bluey and her sister Bingo are considered rainbow babies. But what would the name of the lost pup have been? There are a few clues. The first clue lies in the Heeler family's tradition of naming their kids with names starting with the letter B, following the order Grandpa Bob, Bandit, Bluey, and Bingo. Let's leave Uncle Stripe and Uncle Rat out of this, alright? Maybe Grandma Chris decided not to stick to the B tradition for all her kids, but Chili clearly didn't mind continuing it. The second clue is in Bluey's own name. Everyone knows that the protagonist is named after her breed of dog, but with a slight twist, the addition of the letter Y. And do you know what that could mean? In some cases, adding Y to the end of a word makes it sound smaller or cuter, which fits perfectly for describing something little and adorable. In Bluey's case, her parents likely took the word blue and added the Y to symbolize that she's the younger sibling, the one who came after. So what if the older pup's name was simply Blue, and when tragedy struck, all his things, like his bed with the letter B, were already bought and prepared? When Bluey was born, her parents may have added the Y to her name to distinguish it while still honoring their original plan of naming their pup after the color of the sky. Maybe Ludo Studios will never reveal the truth behind this mystery, but what do you think? Did we crack the code? Remember the episode Copycat where Bluey and Bandit find an injured bird? According to Mr. Heeler, the bird was attacked by a cat. But hold on, what cat? Everybody knows we've never seen a live cat wandering around the dog-filled neighborhood, or maybe even all of Australia, which seems to be a dog-dominated country. In the painting that appears in Bandit's office and during his archaeology presentation, it's made clear that dogs and cats are sworn enemies. Maybe that's why felines stay far away. We also know from the TV show Cute Kitten Squad that evolved cats do exist somewhere, but the question remains, where are they hiding around Brisbane? It's a mystery because if Bandit's right, there is a cat roaming the area, but it's never shown itself. Could it be hiding out of fear? What do you think? Watch these scenes and share your thoughts. Do you prefer dogs or cats? Comment with #pet so we can get to know ya. Remember Grandpa Mort's friend Maynard? As far as we know, this character has been a close friend of Chili's dad for years, and even Bluey and Bingo seem to know him well. But one curious detail is that Maynard was invited to Frisky and Radley's wedding. Why was that? We've got a theory that might explain his presence there. Although this is a minor mystery, it could have something to do with Frisky. We know Bluey's new aunt is a longtime friend of Chili, but to be chosen as her maid of honor, their bond must run deep, like a childhood friendship. We also know Chili grew up in the same area where the pups often hide out with Grandpa Mort, so it's possible Maynard was an old friend not just of Chili's family, but of Frisky's as well. The other possibility comes from a clue in Season 3, Episode 15. Have you noticed that Maynard owns a gas station and Uncle Radley works on an oil rig? While it's a stretch, it's possible the two met at some oil and fuel related event. Which theory do you think is more likely? In the episode Double Babysitter, we find out that Bluey hates being put to bed by anyone other than her parents. Later in the story, it's revealed that Grandma Chris is responsible for this. According to Bluey, her Nana was watching something on TV that scared her. This likely gave Bluey some intense nightmares. What could Nana Chris have been watching? We're betting it was a horror movie, probably one that played on Bluey's fears. Could it have been about walking through a dark forest? What's your guess? Watch the scene and decide. If you've been following the channel, you already know that the Healers are pretty well off financially. They've got money. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to afford a house worth over $1 million. But one lingering mystery is why the Healer pups didn't get their Easter eggs the year before the episode where they follow the bunny's clues. Bandit tells the girls that the Easter bunny sent a letter explaining that there were family problems, but this was likely a way for the parents to cover up something bad that had happened. Could it have been related to Grandpa Mort's health? Or maybe something really serious caused the Healers to cancel Easter? Or perhaps the bunny was just late, or more likely, Bandit forgot to buy the eggs. That would definitely be the less tragic explanation. Okay, let's not even try to come up with a theory to explain why Chili washes clothes when almost no one in this show wears them. When Bandit pees on his foot and dries it on Bluey's green shirt, the pup gets super annoyed. But have you ever actually seen her wearing that shirt? No one ever wears clothes! It's a mystery with no explanation, and we're just going to have to live without an answer. Maybe they collect clothes for fun or something. And hey, if you don't want your clothes getting peed on, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. In the episode Sleepy Time, there's a moment where the Healer sisters both dream the exact same dream of running across the planet Jupiter. That's super strange because no two people dream the exact same thing. Could there be some sort of mental connection between the two? It's a fascinating mystery. Another mystery revolves around Socks' socks. When Muffin's little sister was younger, we saw that she wore socks on her paws because of her stripes. But as she got older, that clearly changed. It probably has something to do with the daughter growing up, but at the same time, it's a bit of a mystery why Ludo Studios decided to change something so significant about the character, considering her name literally refers to those striped socks on her paws. What do you think? Was it just a design update, or is there more to it? Another character who changed over time is Mackenzie's mom. In the earlier episodes, she's shown with a spot on just one side of her face, but in later seasons, she has spots on both sides. Could this mean she dyed her fur, just like women dye their hair in the real world? That actually makes sense. Changing your appearance is something people love to do. We all know that Bluey has 2 pilot episodes. In one of them, representing the episode Weekend, there's a character who has never actually appeared in the show, but can be seen in a portrait hanging on the living room wall. The mystery is, who is this character, and why is it important? It's simple. If the writers thought of this character, it means they were supposed to play some role in the show, but for some reason, the idea was abandoned. Do you think they'll ever bring this character back as a background extra in some future episode? This next mystery isn't about the story itself, but rather a small detail overlooked by Ludo Studios. In some episodes, we see the dogs eating chocolate, but that's a big problem because we all know chocolate is toxic for dogs. Young fans of the show might think it's okay to feed chocolate to their pets, but that could cause a serious accident. So here's a quick PSA, never give your dogs chocolate. It's really bad for their health. But hey, there's no mystery in sticking around with us. That's why we've got 2 more videos lined up for you to watch. Don't forget, new episodes of Bluey are dropping later this year. Until then, you can keep up with all the latest news about your favorite show right here.